Hello, welcome to Storybook Crafts from the Alameda Free Library. This week's craft is simple and yet so elegant and so easy. So let's see, what are we going to make this week? In honor of this wonderful book, Ocean Waves for All by Stacy McAnulty and illustrated by David Litchfield, we are going to make a jellyfish because the ocean is full of lots of them. Here are the lovely jellyfish in some of the illustrations in this book. What are we using for our jellyfish? For my example, I've used a plastic container. This one happened to come from Mochi, so if you celebrate New Year's, Japanese culture, you have mochi on the first day of the new year. This was from a mochi container. You could also use a fruit cup container, an applesauce container, any kind of container that is clear and clean and a little bit curved. Of course, jellyfish come in all shapes and sizes, so if you could use the bottom of a soda bottle, any kind of plastic container that to you looks like it could be a jellyfish will work. We also need some bubble wrap, a little string. For my example here, I've used some fishing wire, but any kind of string, ribbon, yarn, well, any of that will do. We need some scissors, a push pin if you're using the very thin string, otherwise scissors will do fine, pointy ones, and some tape. And we are making a project that can be used again, or rather the parts can be used again. I love making things out of recycled materials, but things can have more than just two lives. So I don't like to use glue as often. This project does not use any glue, and the reason for that is we can take it apart and make it again. So let's get started. I set my examples aside here, and I'm going to use this one. This was from a fruit cup. The first thing I will do before I put anything else together is make the hole for my string so that I can hang it. I'll start with a push pin. Again, if you're using the invisible, like fishing wire or invisible string, a push pin right through the top will do for a tiny hole. Today, since I'm using ribbon, I want to make my hole a little bit bigger because I can't fit this string through that tiny hole. So I will start with that push pin hole, but then I'll take my scissors, and these are pointy scissors, and I'm just going to poke them through that little hole I made and turn just so I can make that hole a little bit bigger to get, there we go. Got a slice, but that'll work, to get my string through. I don't want it too big, but enough to get my string through. I don't need a huge length of string, depends on how long I want to hang it, but this should be fine. It's about a foot. Tie a knot at the bottom. Whatever kind of string you're using, make sure there's a knot at the bottom, and we're going to feed that through the hole, going inside the cup. The knot will be inside. And we're going to tape that in so that it stays, just in case. If your hole is big enough to hold it, this is actually fine without tape, but just to make sure, I'm going to put a little tape on the inside. I actually kind of like how that ribbon shows through too, so I'm going to leave it there. One little piece of tape on the inside should be enough to secure that in place, just so that it doesn't fall out when I hang it. Done. All right, and I'll make sure that it hangs in a way that I like, straight as possible. Let's see. Move the tape around so that it hangs the way I like it. There we go. Nice. Okay, my string is in. Now I need my bubble wrap. And I can measure it out to see about how far around I will need with my fingers. This is just an estimation, but I want enough bubble wrap to go all the way around. So using my fingers, looks like I need about that length for this particular cup. I'll go ahead and cut right there. And cutting bubble wrap is not as easy as it looks, so use your superpower of patience. Cut it as long as you feel like you want those, well, on a jellyfish, are they called tentacles? I think so. As long as you want those tentacles to be, I'm not sure what they're called. I'm going to have to look that up. I will use the library's Encyclopedia Britannica or Explora to look up what those tendrils of a jellyfish are actually called. If they are called tendrils or tentacles, I am not sure. Okay, I have cut the piece that I want. Now I have to slice it up. So using my scissors again, practicing patience, just carefully slice your bubble wrap into strips, leaving the top portion. I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm leaving a top portion about an inch, so about the length from the middle knuckle on my pointer finger to the top of my finger. I am not cutting that portion at the top of my bubble wrap because that's where I'm going to be taping it into the cup. And once you get practice here with slicing these into strips, I'm sort of securing the bottom of my bubble wrap with my fingers once I've cut a little bit. But remember, cut carefully and slowly and thoughtfully. When we go too fast, sometimes we end up cutting off pieces we didn't mean to. But of course, since we're using tape, we can easily tape things back together. If your bubble wrap ends up to be too short for the inside of your cup, you can always tape more in. And for a special added creative touch to your jellyfish, you can use markers, use Sharpies, watercolor markers. You could probably even use crayons on the cup itself. On the bubble wrap, you can use markers or paint to add a little bit of color. If you want to, I like mine just clear because there are plenty of jellyfish in the sea that don't have color. We only can see the color if we use special light to see their color for many of them. So many of them are actually colorless. All right, I'm just about done with my slices here. Last one. Straight up. And that one had a little hole in it, no big deal. All right, I'm pretty happy with those slices. And now I'm ready to tape it inside. So I'm going to practice with my fingers first to see where I want this to go, because once I tape it in, it's a little tricky to get the tape on and then get it in place. So I'm just going to practice there with my fingers. Yeah, that's going to look awesome. I'm going to put a nice length of tape on the edge of the bubble wrap where I didn't cut. It's hard to see, but I'm overlapping it. So it's okay if it sticks to your surface a little bit as you go along. Just get tape all along that edge, overlapping so that part of the tape is on the bubble wrap, and part of the tape is overlapping the edge so that will stick to the inside of the cup. Okay, now carefully and slowly, let's stick this inside with our fingers. Going around, I'm going to make sure that ribbon goes in the middle. I don't want it showing there. There we go. Use my fingers to just move that into the center. Stick that bubble wrap all the way to the top of my cup there. And once I've gone around, kind of separate that with my fingers, then I can really press inside to adhere that tape to the cup. Can't even tell from the outside, but on the inside it is pretty well secure. It is not going to fall out. Jellyfish! So cute! Make lots and lots of them. Make a mobile. Stick them in your window. Stick them above your bed to have jellyfish dreams. Don't let them stick to your tape dispenser. Yay! Have fun making your jellyfish and eating all the yummy snacks and then saving those containers so that you can make a whole school of them. I don't even know if that's what that's called. A group of jellyfish. I'm going to look that up in the Encyclopedia Britannica or Explora too. Thanks for joining. Have fun. Bye-bye.